That's working perfectly.
Success. That's really
Success. Good. Thank you for being here and for your time and for everything. Are you surrounded by a bunch of kids, or you can?
I may have an interruption from a child, so we'll just have to see how we go. Hopefully not. You never know.
Yeah, thank you very much for being here. I will do a short introduction so that also we let time a bit for everyone to join, because it's 4 o'clock. It's a everyday meetup that we have been doing since the beginning of April, but everybody's working, so sometimes it's not easy to go out. So you hear me well, Katie?
Pardon?
Do you hear me well? Yeah?
I hear really well, yeah, brilliantly. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, Katie, we've been doing these coffee breaks every day since the 1st of April, inviting every day some inspiring guests who belongs to different industries and background, sport athletes, travelers, NGO workers, lots of different profile, and today we wanted to invite you, Exile Medics, as our partner, and because we think that your purpose, your mission is very, very important and interesting to share with our community. So I will thank you for being here again. I will start doing a very short presentation. So Exile Medics, it's a social company, organization. You will explain us a bit more now. And you are Katie Ruffles. You're the operation director.
Yeah, that's correct. And I'm the co-owner as well, alongside Brett Rockos. So Brett Rockos and myself, Katie Ruffles, are like the co-owners of the company, and started it up back in 2011.
Okay, tell us a bit more about what you do.
Okay, so Brett Rockos he is a trauma and orthopedic surgeon, and he partook as a medic, as one of 12, in the Jungle Ultra back in 2011, which is about 200 miles north of Santarém, deep in the darkest depths of the Amazon jungle. It's a really famous race called the Jungle Marathon in Brazil. He was one of 12 medics. He'd volunteered to join this team, and they were just 12 medics that didn't know each other. They were just told to bring whatever medicines they had, whatever medical equipment they have, and just turn up and be the doctors on this race for 50 ultra runners that were running approximately 500 kilometres over 6 days in really high humidity, really deep jungle, so really potentially very dangerous through sort of unmarked trails. During this trip, runners became really unwell for various reasons, and what he noticed was they didn't really have the right kit, the communication wasn't in place, the evacuation plans weren't in place, because they were all operating as separate medics at separate checkpoints. So when it all finished and everybody got home safe and well, he looked back at it and he was like, right, we can do this properly as an organised medical team of doctors, with an organised communication plan, an organised logistics and evacuation plan, and organised equipment, and a management system, if you like. So equipment for the basic stuff, equipment for like big clinics at the end of the day, and then emergency equipment if somebody's really sick and needs to be evacuated. And that is where Exile Medics was born, and that is the principles of what we offer as a company today when we support any event, whatever it is. It could be, a cycle challenge, it could be an ultra race, it might be power boats, it might be trekking, is what competitors will have, and the race directors and the managers is an organised medical team and an organised safe medical response. If, it's all very well doing all the first aid stuff and all the, the really important stuff like managing wounds and blisters and dehydration, diarrhea, vomiting, but actually what really matters is if somebody's really, really sick, that the right things are done early on, and a proper evacuation plan to get someone to the nearest hospital safely and quickly is achieved. And these things typically, just like RuntheWorld's race in Madagascar, are in really remote parts of the world. So, even more care and attention needs to be taken, really, to just try and do our very best for these competitors runners. Exile Medics, that said, operates preventative medicine. So, when we are involved in events, people always find us with our blue t-shirts, not getting on people's nerves, but saying, like, well done, how are you feeling? Have you eaten and drank? How are your hands? How are your feet? Do you feel which is great, because it means that we prevent anything bad happening, because people and we're looking at them to see if they look a bit dehydrated, and then we might say, well, actually, you look a bit dehydrated, have some rehydration sachets and a big drink. So actually, we don't see, touch wood, anything bad anymore, but yeah, and that's exactly where Exile Medics came from. So it's nearly 10 years ago, and is what we still do today.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've been being like a patient of Exile Medic in 3 occasions in Sierra Leone with 3 child doing a cycling challenge, marathon in Nepal also, with 3 child and with Impact Marathon in Guatemala. So and I do know exactly what you're talking about this. All the time making sure we hydrate, we put the sun cream, we do everything to prevent to have something bad happening. Yeah, so that's your job.
Yeah, all about prevention. And actually, since we've been working, I worked out last year we did something like about 42 events, and we sent nearly 300 deliverers. 300 medics sent on events, sorry, I'm really sorry, can we just pause this for 1 second? Is that okay? I'm so sorry, it's literally I'll be back in
no
sorry,
no worries.
Emergency, sorry.
I know you're a mom, you have to make sure everything. So for the one who just arrived, thank you for your question. I will ask Katie in one moment in how many countries do they operate, but our guest of today is Exile Medics, which is a social company specialized in bringing teams of expeditions medics to sports events everywhere in the world in the most extreme places, extreme condition. And what Katie was explaining to us is that basically the main work is about prevention, but also to know how to react when you've got a very tough situation in the most remote place of the world, like Madagascar, for example, where we are working together. Yes, everybody is facing the same with the kids. So Katie's got two children of 4 and 7. So she told me maybe we will need to have a short interruption during the chat. So that's what can happen too, and we are happy to experience it in live. So guys, if you've got any question for Katie, let us know here. That's the moment. So if they work with local teams, we will ask them in a moment. I think that they work so to my experience in the races that I've shared with them, they normally bring their all stuff, all equipment and medicines that they will need to support the events, but they normally work with UK medics or European medics all over the world, and then they coordinate with the locals, the local administration and organization to make sure that the people who need to be brought to the hospital and can make it. Yes, so Katie, we got some question for you during your absence.
Sorry about that. There's a COVID emergency. The delivery shopping guy just turned up 3 hours early. He's like, I was delivering next door. I don't know why I'm delivering here in 3 hours. So,
okay, no worries. That's an emergency.
In COVID. Fire your questions away. Go for it.
So some of people who are in the conversation were asking, where do you send your teams normally? In which countries? Everywhere in the world? Or?
Yeah, everywhere. So we don't typically work in Canada and America, and it's not because we can't or we haven't had the opportunity, because if we had the opportunity, we would make it work. But because they have a very different legal system and medical system, we don't typically operate in North America as such, but we do operate in Central America and everywhere else on the globe, including, the Arctic Circle.
So how does it work? So your teams are mainly English speakers, right?
Yeah, so we, as a company, we only send registered health professionals. So they would have to be a registered doctor, nurse, paramedic, or physiotherapist. So we only send those 4 specialities. So we don't send, unfortunately, first aiders or remote medics or army medics. We just send registered medics. Our teams are multidisciplinary because, not cross-disciplinary. They're a mixture of doctors. They'll have an emergency nurse, paramedic and physiotherapist, because we know, they're a great team with a different skill set, and in emergencies they work really well together. So we send those teams. Races contact us. So, for example, let's take the Ultra Gobi China, which is based in China. They know that first and foremost we're English speaking as a company, and we will look at the area that they're working to, make sure they're safe and they're an insured company. And what we're doing with our medics is we can't just send them anywhere in the world because it might be unsafe or dangerous. The risk assessments are in place. And then when we looked at recruiting the medics, asking for volunteers onto that team for like Ultra Gobi China, we would look at medics' applications that perhaps could speak Mandarin or Cantonese or even, Spanish and French. Often,
yes,
race organisers or the race directors or the managers will say to us, actually, the working language is going to be English and Spanish, or English and Mandarin. What can you provide us? Actually, for China, we have sent a translator as part of our team for the last 2 years, and that's really, really helped. She's actually a pharmacist who just works with us, who just as a sort of a volunteer, a bit of a PR relationship, and just acted as just that perfect translation, because actually there's very few people that speak really, really perfect.
I know.
Yeah, Cantonese and Mandarin. So lots of doctors speak Spanish. So often for things like Costa Rica, we were more than half, 60% of the team were fluent in Spanish. So teams will always be led by usually a senior doctor, like a GP or a consultant or a registrar. And then you might have a team, they sort of vary in size from, you might have a solo medic if it's a very individual thing, but most of our teams can be up to 12 medics. And
I see.
You'll find in the application pool, if you've got 50 or 100 applicants, you'll find a really good experienced skill set will have really good sort of Spanish or French skills, depending on where we're going.
Yes, I remember when we planned our trip together in Madagascar, we were searching. Most of our customers speak Spanish, but Madagascar is a French-speaking area, so it's hard to have everything, but normally we make it. We make it between the volunteers, the organization, and the medics. We find a way to communicate.
Yeah, so, and most of the time, we can find a medic that speaks, basic conversational Spanish and French, and then we have a handy medical translation book as well, which helps us.
Yeah, for the basic, I know. Okay, how does the situation affect your work right now? Because all your team are specialized in health, so you are all and all your events, I guess, are cancelled right now.
Yeah, that's right. So we were looking at our busiest year for 10 years of operating, and we had something like 17 events scheduled between March and October, and all of them have been cancelled or rescheduled. It was really, really, really busy. I was like, I can't go, I need it all to stop. I didn't really mean a pandemic to arrive. Our business, we are a business, but we operate as a social enterprise in that, we're not hugely based on profit making, and we don't have huge overheads like really big offices. We don't have very expensive staff. Our staff, they are paid a very basic UK wage, but they do it because they love the job and the opportunities that come with it. They're two nurses. So So we haven't got huge overheads that mean that if we don't have any money coming in for the next 6 months, that the company will be unable to operate. So yeah, we just everything has kind of stopped and is on hold. We've done something in the UK called furloughing our staff, which is basically the government's going to pay 80% of their salary until June. We're eligible for a small government loan of £10,000. So we're just basically going to ride the wave quietly with our heads down and try and keep our overheads to a minimum. And yeah, we don't, as a company, we don't expect to start races really to get back into the swing of it until very late in the year, if not early next year. And you know, on the back of this, there might be a global depression, so people might have less income to do these luxury things like travelling the world. I'm hoping, because the demographic of people that sort of undertake this expedition medicine, you know, it's the doctors and the medics that all still want to go on trips, and it's, you know, sort of the people with, you know, statistically the ultra runner has, you know, the more professional job, is a little bit older. We're hoping that those sorts of people will still, you know, their incomes won't be too affected by everything that's happened, which is not great, obviously, but, you know, we're hoping that we'll still be able to operate. And I suspect the company will be set back like 3 years. I can't imagine things will be up and strictly back
Yes.
at least for 2 years, if not a bit longer.
Yes, I mean you're two parts. You're also part of the travel industry in some way. So you are very directly affected. So okay, and so we were asked how do we collaborate? So between RuntheWorld and Exile Medics. So Exile Medics supports RuntheWorld's event in Madagascar. And also, we work together with Street Child in Sierra Leone, where you are also operating right for the marathon and the cycling challenge. So basically, Exile Medics make sure our travelers and adventurers and athletes arrive safe at the end of the they go back safe at home. So just because we are getting to the end of our coffee break, I wanted to ask, if you're a medic and you want to apply, will you be a volunteer, or are you? How does it work, and how can we apply?
So we would love all the medics. We welcome medics from Europe. It's very easy to, you know, check their indemnity and their insurances, and they make great team leaders, often because they bring another language with them. So just have a look on our website, and if you're a registered doctor, nurse, paramedic or physiotherapist, or you're a medical student, just apply through our website, and you literally just make an application. The ethos of the company is about giving everybody an opportunity to get involved with wilderness medicine. So we don't have a minimum standard. We don't ask for any really expensive wilderness medicine courses. Because we have a senior team leader and we provide lots of training over the internet and in person beforehand, you don't need any minimum standard. You just apply and you'll just be part of the team. You'll have a very senior team leader to look after you and get you involved and teach you everything you need to know. And it's that simple. You do volunteer, so we are a voluntary organisation, which means that you do have to pay an admin fee, which we kind of need this money as a company to carry on operating. I said earlier about our financial situation as a company that, you know, we kind of live hand to mouth. But so you do pay an admin fee, which kind of covers a lot of the administration costs and the costs of all the training that goes with it, and you get a couple of t-shirts. And then you, depending on which race and who it is, some races will pay your whole flight. Others will pay half your flight, some you'll be no flight. But all of our companies that we work with provide our medics with free accommodation, albeit a camping pitch, or it might be a hostel. You know, it's wilderness medicine, it's meant to be hardship. You know, and they may provide you with food. You might have to pay a small supplement food, but usually our medics will take their own ration packs food with them. But you'll be certainly picked up from the airport, given accommodation, taken on the trips. You know, there's not normally any national park fees. So usually medics, for example, I take the Arctic Ultra, which is in the north, the Arctic Circle of Sweden, medics buy their flight, which is about, so let's say it's less than £200, and they pay their admin fee to Exile Medics, so that's about, in total, say £350, and then they're getting to spend 10 days in Arctic Sweden, riding around on skuddies, sitting in teepees all day. They see the northern lights, they go across lakes, they get to travel all across Arctic Sweden. You know, so the cost initially, you can look at it and go, oh my God, that's really expensive, I've got to pay an admin fee on my own flight. But actually what you're getting for that is, you know, if that's your thing and you love wilderness medicine, and you want the experience of working in a team, you know, you're getting an incredible experience for actually not that money. And run the world, you know, if you're a doctor and you want to be part of Exile Medics on Run the World in Madagascar, that's an incredible experience. You know, we'll give you all the kit, we'll give you training, we'll give you support. You have 24-hour UK telemedicine support from 2 consultants, a pharmacist, and a dentist. You know, and we'll give you all the medical kit. So, you know, we want to be as safe as we can possibly be and as supportive to medics as we possibly can be.
It did, and you are doing an incredible job. And honestly, yes, you explained it perfectly. I think it's not about there's a lot of passion in your teams and an investment of many ways, but honestly, the experience is incredible, and the doctors are amazing. I haven't met any of them that were not being very, very attentive to all of us and taking care of everyone. So thank you very much for your great job. It makes us feel really, really confident about our trips to have you involved in it. So we just hope that we will be able to work together again very soon. And I just sorry.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. Certainly, you know, we had some before. I know things are a bit uncertain, but we had some really great medics lined up to join your team and look after your cyclists to make sure, you know, they have the best experience and they're safe. And it's quite reassuring to be like, actually, there's a doctor from Europe that's fully registered, fully covered on my trip that's going to look after me. You know, that's quite, for me as a traveller, it's quite reassuring. You're like, oh, yeah, it's okay.
It is.
It's a little bit harder.
It is. Thank you very much for your time, Katie, and we will keep in touch and hope to see you personally very, very soon. Good luck with the kids for the few next weeks. And keep safe.
Yeah, you too. Thank you for inviting us along as well. And yeah, keep safe. And everybody who's listening in, keep safe. And please send me an email if you want clarification or you want anything. And it's Katie, Katie @exile-medics.com.
Yes, definitely. We will leave your contact also on our Instagram page, but you can also, I guess, anyone can contact you through your Instagram or your webpage.
Yeah, however, we answer them all actually. Yeah, so however they want to is fine. Brilliant. Thank you, Carol. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Bye bye.
Bye bye.